Kevin Lawlor, it's great to see you again. This is another interview we're having with you in Tribes Press about your new book that has come out this year, A Guide to Starting Business, The Irish Way. And I love this book. What I love most about it is that when you're starting a startup business and you just want information, just quick, snappy information. How do I do this? What do I do? When, how, where, all of these different things. You have given the business, the entrepreneur, the startup business owner, a book, a tool that they can just scan through and say, okay, this is what I need. Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. And it's great because nobody who starts up a business is going to know everything, every aspect between taxation and so much more. How did you come to produce this book? Like, where did you start when you put your pen to paper? The first chapter here is entrepreneurship. Why do entrepreneurs stimulate you? Why do they give you a buzz? What is it about entrepreneurs that you love that you wrote this book?
Yeah, I really loved the idea of entrepreneurs, and there wasn't enough room in the book to put down more entrepreneurs, people that are inspiring. And again, that's something that I love about the whole concept of entrepreneurship, coming from an idea to a finished product and trying to encourage creativity and innovation. And there's so much of that within all of us.
This is the question. This is the question that everybody asks. They ask, how do I find creativity? How do I access my creativity? And it's a question you hear a lot on radio interviews, newspaper, magazines, whatever it is. You hear about it, and some people say, oh, when you're like in terms of writing, like when you're absolutely exhausted and you can't think anymore, then you're creative. Where I would be of a different view. If you're exhausted, you can't think clearly, so you won't be creative.
Yes.
But there's a lot of myths around creativity and how to develop your creativity. Do you have any information? Do you have anything you can give to a person to say, this is how to be creative, how you can access it?
I think the old phrase, I think it was Einstein said, 99% inspiration, 99% perspiration, and 1% inspiration. And I see it like that. I see you finish school, you finish college, you go into a particular career. That's you doing your apprenticeship. And while you're doing your apprenticeship, this is where ideas may start up. And if you do start a business, you've served your time, so you have.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's something that comes naturally to you while you're working. Like, to be an entrepreneur is someone with lots of ideas. Like, it could be a lorry passing by, it gives you an idea for something. And the whole concept is one of spending time at something, and out of nowhere an idea comes. That's how I would put it forward.
Yeah, and I respect that, because I do think that's what happens, almost free association. Something triggers another thought, which will trigger another thought, which would, there you have your answer to what it is that you're trying to create. Yeah. I noticed here you have, like in chapter 2, starting a business in Ireland. You did, like, you're talking about crafting your business plan, financial planning, business structure, business name, obtaining licenses and permits, and so on and so forth, and choosing your location. And you also say in your book about your team, the team you have around you. It's not just one thing that creates a success. You could have a great idea, but your timing could be wrong. You could hit the market at the wrong time. You could have a great business, but you're in the wrong location. You could have something that you haven't created, something that you haven't trademarked or patented. And you're saying to the person who's starting up, you're saying all of these factors are important. You need to think about all of these things. Don't just go don't jump in,
Yeah.
unknowing, like don't just jump in feet first. There's think of all these other things, and then you have a balanced approach to your business. So that's something that I really thought was good about your book.
I think that the team is very important, because I've been involved in 3 or 4 businesses, and there was always a few people with me, and we knocked ideas off each other. And like, from that perspective, that was something that's good. And I see all the education that's taking place now, particularly at 3rd level, everything is in a group. No matter what subject you're doing. And maybe not enough of that is being done at 2nd level. But the team approach is very important.
And the other thing that I was listening to something on the radio the other day, and it was this person, and actually I know somebody as well who's in this situation, who was an employee for about 20 years. And then, so you're saying the apprenticeship stage, and he started up a business, and he did his research, but he started up a business. But what he did was, he wanted to have the nice office and the nice salary and the nice this and the nice that, and he had an employee mindset for somebody who was going out self-employed. And you talk about self-employment and the ups and the downs of it. You talk about the need. You talk about features of sole traders, the advantages, the disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages, you say, is suffer all the losses and take all the risks. And I think sometimes when you meet people who are employees for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they go out, they expect it to happen really quickly. And they don't necessarily have a lean business model.
I'll give you a very good one. One of my best friends, Fran McKegney, he had one where a guy got an award, and his reaction to the reward was that he had become an overnight success after 20 years. Like it can be a long time before you get that reward. But you shouldn't be just going in for business that I must make money. Like it has to start that I'm satisfying a particular need, and try and satisfy that. That's where the satisfaction will really come, if there's people out there want what you're offering,
So I like the piece that you have a chapter on taxation. And I think this chapter on taxation is really good for everybody, because it's very hard not everybody who is an entrepreneur has a business degree behind them or a commerce degree behind them. And they're going into it and they really don't know about the tax system. They don't know what are the ups and the downs, what they need to do, when they need to file their tax returns. They don't know about the revenue online service. They don't know about, should I be a sole trader, or should I be a company and pay VAT? So that you have outlined, you've given the guide here, a very good guide to everybody about, for example, self-assessment tax for the sole trader, or the value-added tax and corporate tax, corporation tax. And you've really nailed it. You've been very concise. You've given the details. You told the people, that any reader who reads this book, what exactly they need to know, and what are the important things that they could accidentally miss. And so I take my hat off to you for that, because I think it's a really important chapter, because there's so many people who go into business and they're not accountants.
Yeah.
They're not business. They don't have business degrees. They don't have the lingo of it, but they have a great idea and a hard work.
Yeah. Like my view of that, no more than accounts generally.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a tax expert. You're not going to be an accountant, but you should make yourself aware of what they're about, so that you understand, and that you can have a conversation with the accountant if that's who you're going to talk to, and so on. But it's important to know the whole tax routine that exists in this country.
And even you have a chapter there on financial management. And I think the key to any business success is to be able to manage those finances. And you've given a clear indication of how to do it. And I think businesses who wouldn't know that, like when you're starting off, a person starting off, and they don't know all the rules, so they can be duped in certain situations. But you've listed exactly what they're entitled to, what way they should manage their finances, how they should do everything around paying bills or so on and so forth. So I think that in itself is a fantastic thing for anybody who's starting off and just doesn't have the kind of the wherewithal around financial management to read that and to know a bit more about it.
Yeah, I would say that, like in terms of financial management, like the last place you want to be is going out of business. And some people go out of business because they're not able to manage their finances.
Mm-hmm.
And in managing their finances, there's routines with stock management in particular, but there's also dealing with your debtors and creditors, and just being able to keep abreast of the bills as they emerge in your business. And you're not just going off spending money without any recourse to the bills that are outstanding. So that's important.
Yeah, and I commend you on that, because you did it very well in your book. You wrote that section very well. And the other thing that I thought was really good, that was really clear to me after reading your book, which wasn't clear to me beforehand, because I know a lot of people and they talk about their business plans and their business plans and about business plans. And I was thinking, I do a lot of strategic planning, but I don't necessarily create business plans, but I'm regularly creating strategic plans. And I noticed that, and I thought, as a business person, I thought, oh God, I'm terrible. My business is going to fail because I'm not doing up business plans. But I realized that business plans are very much created for funding or for a bank loan or for something like that, that's important for companies at different stages. And that was the clear distinction. And then after you had clearly defined it, after you've gone through all strategic planning, gone through business planning, I felt better myself about the way I managed my business. I said, yeah, I'm doing okay. So I think that's really good, because there's a lot of business people, small, medium businesses out there, and they kind of are a little bit unsure because there's so much business lingo and there's so many things that people are saying to them, and yet they don't know, God, should I be doing that or should I be doing this? And it was very clear there between strategic planning and business plans.
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I would say that I love the whole idea of planning, because when you put the hours into the plan, you and your team, you've identified where the difficulties may be. And it's like a guide in your pocket. At every stage of the way, this business plan is going to help you.
Yeah.
Whether you're dealing with marketing plans, whether you're dealing with finances, the business plan is given a projection of your business to the likes of investors and lenders and your own employees. The business plan for all of them. And that's why I would say in class, 2 things out of business. You really must know your business plan and your market research, because they're going to be hugely important.
I have to say that in my own business, if anybody has an idea, I ask them to go off and go back and research, look at the market research, do loads of research to see, okay, you have an idea, but we're not going to waste time on that idea until you have researched it thoroughly. And I think that has come across exceptionally strongly in your book, that you're saying to people, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to fall down. But what you're saying is do your market research. So if you make a mistake, the mistake isn't massive. The mistake won't cost you your business. Do the research before you make that decision. And I like that about your book, because in your book, you give confidence to entrepreneurs. You say to them, yeah, you can do this, but I'm going to give you a kind of system and follow this system, and then you have better possibility of success. Well done on creating this book, A Guide to Starting Business the Irish Way. I think it is an incredibly valuable guide for anybody starting business, anybody small, medium enterprise. It's just that book that's handy. You can put your hand to it, you can take it up, you can say, oh yeah, that's what I need to know. And it's just an incredible piece of writing. And I think it's a piece of writing that has come, it's clear that has come from research, that you have done a huge amount of research, but not just that, you've actually been on the ground, you have the business experience in this book as well. And that's what makes it special. It's not just research, it's on the ground experience as well. And it's a really good guide to help businesses now more than ever when we're in a pandemic and everything is lean, for them to be guided in the right direction. So if they do make a mistake, it isn't a massive mistake. It won't cost them everything. Well done on that, Kevin Lawlor.
Okay,
Thank you. The market. And if anybody wants to purchase this book, they can purchase it on tribespress.com/shop. So the Tribes Press website, and you get in the shop there and get your copy today. All you budding entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter if you're 12 years of age or 82 years of age, get your copy of this book.